Hey, what's up everybody? It's Lids, and we're back for some more Mardek, and today we are, of course, continuing in further through Morg's Battleship, and as we were looking at before, we are into this area where there's some sort of person or something to talk to over here. There is this save crystal as well, so, I think we ought to take the hints here. Let's switch party members just for a moment. I do want to see if Zach has anything to say about our current location, which he may or may not. But we'll double check. Oh, and based on the music, it would seem as though he may. Why do you still insist on talking to me? Well, I just want to know more about you. There is nothing worth knowing. Well, how did you become a mercenary? I'd rather not talk about it. Oh, why not? I have told you before, I don't want to form emotional connections. It is just easier to block things out. Less people get hurt that way. Huh? Never mind. I am done talking for now. Interesting. More insights into perhaps the reasons why Zach is so quiet so often. Might we be able to push him for a little bit more? Maybe. But maybe not. Okay, so I do think that we will still opt to use Vern here, but I wanted to check in with Zach just in case to see if he had something to say, kind of like that. So, back to Vern we go, and now back to whatever is over here. What? Intruders detected, generically stating that they must be destroyed. This is a Dracelon, a sort of Ansharian dragon. Though this is a cyborg zombie version, apparently. You could say it's Morg's personal guard dog. It's going to try to kill us now, so get ready to fight. Of course it is. And this monster we are fighting here is more than capable of ruining our day. So let's take a close look here, because it is undead. It is very strong against Earth and also dark, not so surprisingly, given the general theme of fighting Morg and his friends. Actually has some resistance to light, which is unusual for the types of people we've been fighting recently. Does have its fair share of air weakness, however. So that would actually be the preferred way to go, and might have actually been a reason to hold on to Zach rather than Vern for this fight. But either way, and then also lots of resistances to different status effects. So we'll definitely use Lightning Bolt in that case. Let's see just how much damage we can do. It has a lot of HP. And, well, Dugan does not have any source of useful elemental attacks here. So, might Spirit Blade be good? I wasn't paying particular note of its ether resistance. It's none, which might actually make that worthwhile. That, or we could, of course, go for a power attack. Let's try that. Oh, except there is that risk. There's certainly that risk. So, although it is not Dark Elemental, it is undead, so theoretically Disrupt Undead ought to be the way to go here. And that's decent, albeit not fantastic damage there. I think Mardek might actually be capable of dealing the most damage. Well, it's light elemental, but I was gonna say, if he had the silver sword, that might be the reason why. There you see, however, the reason why this guy can be very tricky. See how much damage that was that he just dealt to the whole party, except for, of course, Mardek, because it was an Earth Elemental attack, and we have the Geo Jacket, green beads, and the Resist Earth ability on him, so he has a crazy amount of Earth resistance, meaning that he actually healed a lot from that attack. So at least from that one, Mardek walked away unscathed. Probably going to need to do a lot of healing on Mardek's next turn. But yeah, the Silver Sword on either Vern or Mardek probably would have been the way to go here. We'll see if that is necessary. Oh, Dugan, you got a hit, buddy. So if you guys are struggling with this fight yourself, then that might be a way to mix things up a little bit. Either try Zach, because he does have the ability to use some air elemental attacks, or make sure that you have those silver swords on. That's actually enough for Mardek to level up, surprisingly. Again, physical attacks do lots of damage. They are seemingly all Earth Elemental, so Mardek should continue to be relatively safe here. And you see why that Geo Jacket is so great. And of all the people to have that resistance, probably good to have it be your healer so that you can bring other people back or keep them in decent shape. Third time's the charm? Come on, Dugan. You can do it. There it is. Okay. So now let's disrupt Undead again, and we'll use Mardek to heal Vern. Vern is the one who's looking a little worse for wear at the moment. Heal up. Actually, gets him back to full HP. And there you see, tries to use a powerful attack on Mardek, but it's not bad because he took no damage. It was Earth Elemental, so he healed. So yes, having the Geo Jacket and as much Earth resistance as possible is certainly very useful for this fight. The other thing, if I remember correctly, is that this guy is more than capable of dealing paralysis. However, we have Emla has 100% resistance, Dugan has 100% resistance, and then we put it on someone else. Not Mardek, must have been Vern. Yeah, so might find that Mardek gets paralyzed at some point during this fight. But other than that, I think we've covered our bases quite well here. Made sure that we've taken away some of the Dracelon's biggest strengths. And Mardek actually does not need to heal on this occasion because last time Dracelon tried to attack Mardek and didn't deal any damage. Okay, specifically targets Vern that time. That should be alright. So that does mean that Mardek should be able to just take one turn to heal him up. Do we continue to try to get greedy here and use a power attack? Well, wow. Dugan is what, 1 for 4 at this point? And now we could potentially ask ourselves the question of, might Mardek be able to take the Dracelon out in one hit here? Maybe, but let's play it safe. No need to rush when we can be pretty confident that we can avoid getting it. And there you have it. Wow. Okay, so Numb and Paralysis there, both of which are difficult to get rid of. So that's the type of thing where if the Dracelon were capable of, if it were lucky enough, to inflict those status effects earlier on in this fight, then it might have been a bit of a different story here. Fortunately, we were able to avoid them, largely because we were so proactive about putting on that paralysis resistance. The numbness, that we don't have as much of a way to block, so that was mostly just luck. But there it is, Dracelon down, and outside of those status effects, actually everyone emerging without taking any damage. Extra Bone Stone. I did not remember that we got one from this. I don't know if that's guaranteed or not, and an Elixir, which we've not yet seen. Let's check that out. And, well, it's down. Let's take a look, though. The Elixir is an amazing brew made from the tears of a goddess, or something astounding like that. It restores all HP and MP. That is fantastic. And something else that you guys were noting that we probably should have done in anticipation of that fight was that Vern is currently using the Iron Sword right now, which is actually mastered the reaction for. So we didn't need to have that on, and we could have opted to use the Mace instead. Because you see here, Iron Sword has the same skill as the Mace, except the Mace has 22 damage, whereas the Iron Sword only has 20. So that might have been another way in which we could have improved our chances of success there. Obviously, ultimately, did not turn out to be a difference maker. But now that we have mastered this ability on Vern, we should probably look at what comes next. It's not the Bronze Sword. It might be the Silver Sword just for the damage. Having that effectiveness against undead and light elemental attacks would probably still prove useful. Shadow Blade, to get that degeneration ability, it's probably too late for that at this stage. 40 is a lot, so we would have to make quite a committed effort just to get that mastered. And I'm assuming that the Dark Elemental attacks are probably not all that useful against a lot of enemies that are either going to be completely resistant to, or in some cases even heal to that element. So we probably want to avoid that. Do we have any other alternatives here? That might be it. The maces, like we were saying before. Very old swords that have plus 20% damage, actually. Vern, have you done this? You have not. Okay, so this is an instance where it's really low damage. That is a nice reaction to have. So, for the small fights, in between things like Dracelon fights, then maybe that's okay, but if we're to go into another big boss fight like that, then obviously we don't really want to be having this weak weapon on. So we're gonna have to try to remember that. And spiked hide armor, he's still close to, but not quite there yet in terms of mastering those skills. I think we just put on the belt of movement for that paralysis resistance and didn't bother allocating locomotion. Might not have had the RP to pull that off. Other than that, let's take a quick look to see if there's anyone else who has mastered skills and therefore might have items of some variety that we might want to swap over. Yugen's getting awfully close to mastering resist water on the trilobite armor. Same thing with him on locomotion. Not using it at the moment, likely for RP shortage reasons. This would be the one that would be best to be able to pass off from a chestplate standpoint. Because as you saw, it was crazy effective in that fight there. But still would take a while, 25 more battles, so it would take a fair share of grinding in the fire pen. Theoretically, maybe one day, Mardek will master that ability, but likely not today. Likely not today. Okay, so let's go back, and we should be able to double back to the save crystal, and at least remove those status effects. I suppose we can save as well. So, then we carry on, and we'll see what awaits us on the other side. Another place to teleport, and... uh-oh. Rohoff. Rohoff! And your little friends. Yes, you always did have all the friends. Yes, you came. You're here. What? That's Social Fox. You stole his body, you foul demon. That's just unforgivable. Oh, I'll make you suffer for that. How dare you defile his body like that? Well, he was our hero. We'll kick your shins and wobble your soul so hard for that. Mardek, yes, I'm here now, and things are going to be alright. Let me heal you. We can stop the evil governance to Magi together. Rohoff, you're not... Yes, you're not helping me, no. This is... Yes, you and your tricks, your lies. You never lied. You say, but you do. You traitor. You left us. You wanted to destroy us all. Now you're here to destroy us. Yes, yes, I'll destroy you first. I'll make your blood run free, all over your robe, your white robe. Yes, every time I saw that robe, I shuddered. Yes, fear. I control fear. Fear cannot control me. Threat. Oh, yes. I'll admit that I didn't much like you in the past, Mardek. But I thought all that was behind us. Apparently not, though. I never realized how much it had affected you. I can't even make it up to you? Let me heal you now. And like I said, we can work together, and I'll treat you right. Beyond reason. Far beyond. Yes. You won't. Can't. You don't understand. Don't understand. You can't feel my wounds. My hurty wounds. They hurt deep down. So sharp. So sharp. I bleed in my soul. It's broken. Fear. No. I control fear. You did it. It's all you. I will make you pay, Rohoff. Yes, you. I won't let you ruin everything anymore. You must die. Only then can I be free. Alright, and so, yes, naturally, maybe not the best time for us to swap over to some items that were specifically for learning some reactions, like we just did on Vern. But here is what amounts to the final boss fight of Chapter 2. It is Mardek in his final form. So, let's take a look. We'll see first and foremost that he has both a physical, magical shield, and haste. He has a bunch of strength and has a wolf blade. Lots of attack. Fairly high defense, nothing in the way of magical defense. And in terms of resistances, he heals a lot from both darkness and from earth, as we might have expected. Fairly weak to ether and light, very weak to air, somewhat weak to fire. And in terms of status effects, he's completely immune to poison and sleep and zombification, and almost 100% resistance to bleed. So, we have Emla going first, and then it will be Mork in his social fox form. So, let's go for a lightning bolt here. Try to deal some damage. He uses Summon Droma, giving him some friends to work with him. The Dromas should be pretty similar to the ones that we fought previously. So again, they are very weak to air and very strong against earth, and even 100% resistance to darkness as well. So Dugan is up next, and we find ourselves asking the same question that we've asked many times before, and that being, we could use Barrier Break to get rid of his physical shield. It would, however, heal him quite a bit. At this stage, that is probably still worthwhile, though. Long term, it would likely be more beneficial for us to remove that barrier. So, let's do this against Mork specifically, and we will deliberately miss our offensive reaction to minimize the damage, because we're just going for removing the barrier, because we did heal 100 HP there. Didn't entirely mitigate the damage that we dealt with Emla, so that is good. And now the question of, now that we've removed that barrier, do we want to deliberately target Mork here? Do we want to take out some of the Droma? Thinking, probably want to go for Mork. Single him out a bit. So, Vern previously would have been a great option to deal a ton of damage. He is kind of the specialist in terms of dealing a bunch of damage to undead foes. However, with that really weak sword, we kind of messed ourselves up there. Speaking of messing up, they are really messing up Vern here, dealing a lot of damage to him, so let's make sure we do heal him up here. Emla did also get poisoned, so she's not looking great either. So we'll try to attack Mork here, now that we know this damage should be permanent. He goes after everyone, and managed to inflict poison on everyone except for Emla, well, because Emla already had poison on her. It's not looking great on that front either, and if poison lasts the entire battle, then that's going to start to add up quite a bit, so it might be worth taking a turn here. Try to remove as much of that as possible. Dugan can only remove one poison at a time, however, either with an antidote or a remedy. And as for who makes the most sense to do that on, I'm thinking it might actually make sense to do it on Emla because she's the lowest HP at the moment. This is not looking great. You're not off to a great start here. We'll continue to disrupt undead on Mork. And you know, it does seem as if you could maybe make the case for taking out those Droma fairly early on. Ooh, and hitting the reactions is of course meaningful too, and I am just absolutely butchering them. And they immediately reapply poison, in which case, well, maybe not the most effective. Oh my goodness. Well, there goes half the party. Mardek actually heals from Earth, but Emla, Vern, both down entirely. So, not looking great there. Not looking great. Let's maybe bring somebody back here. As for who would be the best option, Emla theoretically would come next if we were to revive her. So let's use a Phoenix down here. Bring her back. Dugan is also looking pretty bad right now. So I think we either want to heal Dugan or we want to revive Vern this turn. I think that... let's go for Vern. And now, we are, of course, going to have them have the opportunity to take a turn here and immediately take down the character that we revived. We'll get him back. We'll get him back. Come on, Vern. Now it's your turn. Just in time to deal some damage. So it's going to be a tough one. It is going to be a tough one. And, oh, I was going to say, Dugan gets hit. He's likely dead here. Yup. It is, however, perhaps an efficient way to remove
Dugan's poison effect. However, he's become zombified. And we have not yet seen that happen. Except for, well, right now, for the first time, he is a zombie. And I honestly don't remember exactly what it does. I'm pretty sure it means that he will actually attack us. I believe we had Holy Water removes curses and zombification. Is that correct? It does. Okay. So let's do this real quick. And it removes zombification. So he no longer has that status effect, and he's actually back on full HP. So in some ways, they helped us out there. So, thank you, I guess. Okay. And again, we could ask ourselves, might we be better served taking out the Droma in order to minimize the number of enemies that can deal damage to us? Or do we want to continue singling out Mardek? I'm gonna go with Mardek here, but I'm having my doubts. Dark Fog does blind, and I thought we had several people who were resistant to it. My guess is that Vern was one of them. Dugan apparently was not. Mardek apparently was not. So that does mean Dugan's going to struggle a bit here, because he is, of course, very attack-based, and therefore is unlikely to be able to hit any of those skills. So that might mean that it is a good opportunity for us to use something like a Liquid Light or a Remedy. Dugan doesn't have a lot of those. It's going to be a little bit tricky in that case. And ought we use it on Dugan or Mardek? I think we probably want to use it on Dugan, because Mardek is going to be spending a lot of time doing things like healing and removing status effects. So, let's do this here. Vern does have the opportunity to attack here. He is still on half HP. Is that reason enough to want to heal up a bit here? I think it probably is. Try to get out ahead of it and not have to worry about reviving him every single time. He only has one better potion, which is unfortunate. That would be just about the perfect amount of healing for him, though. So I think we take that down. Okay, targeting Emla. She's fairly low on HP. I would prefer to target Mardek more than anything. Yes, because he can heal much more easily than the others. Because he has that earth resistance. And I think we'll take this opportunity to heal Emla quite a bit. Gets her back up to max HP, and suddenly, at least from an HP standpoint, we're not looking too bad. Could even opt to attack everyone with the Thunderbolt. I suppose we probably should have considered that from the beginning. It does mean that we deal slightly less damage to each individual enemy, but over time that might mean that we'll be able to take out the Droma. I think that might be the most efficient way to do that. Probably should have done that from the get-go. And that's gonna hurt. So we really want Mork to target Mardek, because Mork is the one that deals such a huge amount of Earth Elemental damage. So I think Spirit Blade might actually be the way to go with Dugan here, if we were to go for an offensive attack. It's been a while since we were able to attack with Dugan, though, and it might actually make sense for us to heal with him as well. He's many more better potions than Vern had. I think it might make sense to do that here, just to keep him in a little bit better shape. And we'll continue to disrupt Undead on more here. Just think about how much damage that would have done had we used the correct sword. Unfortunately, we see the Droma can heal each other. However, that does mean that, of course, they are opting not to deal damage. So in some ways, that is still a small victory. So, and there we see that Mork has other tricks up his sleeve, too. Huge dark damage, taking out Dugan basically in one hit there. I think he was not quite on full HP, but even if he was, I think that would still have dealt just about enough damage to one-shot him. So, it is Mardek's turn. Do we opt to Phoenix down here? If we do, then it would be Emla's turn next, and then Mork would go again. I think we do use the Phoenix down. We are potentially at risk of having something happen that happened to us earlier with Vern. Basically, as soon as we heal Dugan, Mork just decides to take him out immediately thereafter. So we could opt to use a potion of some variety. Does Emla have better potions? She does. Let's do that, just to be a little bit safer. If Mork uses the same attack, then it could still be game over for Dugan here. Not quite, though. Fortunately, Mork misses, and now we might finally have the opportunity to use an offensive skill of some variety with Dugan, in which case I think it would be Spirit Blade against Mork. Could potentially boost on the assumption that this will be a long enough battle that it will pay off in the long term. But we saw just how infrequently we are able to get attacks in with Dugan, because seems to be a good person to do some healing and item uses with. And also, I believe Mork's previous attack not only dealt a bunch of damage, it also healed him a bunch. So I think we still have not yet made up for the difference there. I think with this damage here, now Mork is lower than he's ever been. What are you up to, Droma? Singling out Burn, seemingly. Hey, yep, continue to attack Mardek. That is totally fine. And for that reason, the poison on Mardek even is not terribly significant, as he will heal that off as soon as he gets hit by any Mork attacks or even Droma attacks in many occasions. Not the physical attacks, but they have some spells that deal Earth Elemental damage, and all of Mork's attacks, most of them at least, are Earth. So let's heal Vern here. Looks like he's in the worst shape. And again, I think we target everyone with the Lightning Bolt. That might be enough to take out a Droma or two. Or three. Two. Okay. Should help. Vern just barely hangs on there. Could opt to heal with Dugan here. What was his better potion count? Pretty decent. Pretty decent. So I think we do that here. And now that there are fewer Droma, theoretically, should be a little bit easier here. I think there's certainly a non-zero chance that Mork opts to bring some back. But if that means that he's not attacking on his turn, then that's not the end of the world either. Oh, well, there goes Vern. Okay, so we could bring him back here. And I'm thinking that might be a good idea because, well, if we do that, he comes back with half HP. And then Emila could heal him up to close to full. I think she was doing okay in terms of her better potion count. Except Mork goes immediately after, so he could just pop him on the head. Let's try it, though. So there is only a 1 in 4 chance that he opts to single out Vern. So we might still be okay. Let's find those better potions. So now you see that it is significant that we were stockpiling, ooh, yikes, all those Phoenix Downs, because this guy, well, you know, he's not that easy compared to our other opponents we've fought. So, he is getting fairly low, though. And I am wondering when the best time to bring Emila back would be. Similar story to with Vern. We could bring her back now, but we do run the risk of having someone take her out immediately. Vern does not have very many potions. So let's deliberately go offensively here. Does make Emila somewhat vulnerable. Oh, the Droma actually opts to heal Moric. That's going to be, what, poisons? Okay. For the most part, I guess Mardek was the only one who's already poisoned. I was going to say, I was assuming we already had poisons on most characters, so it shouldn't have been too much of a factor. We could even opt to put on shields and magic shields. You know, that probably wouldn't be a bad idea. If we ever got out ahead a bit and didn't desperately need to heal on Mardek's turn. And I think to some extent that is the case here. As for who would be best to put a shield on, I think Vern has the lowest HP, at least in terms of max HP. Emila is not on full HP right now, so theoretically she is the most vulnerable, at least in the short term. Let's try Vern, though. And shield versus magic shield, also, good question. Not necessarily sure what the best route would be. Let's take out the Droma here. It might force Moric into bringing them back on his turn. It does, which is not great in the way that, of course, that means that now there are more Droma. However, it does mean that Moric doesn't do any attacks that turn. So maybe it is best to keep it as just one Droma, so then you have almost the minimum number of enemies for as long as possible, and presumably Moric would not opt to resummon them in that case. We're getting close, though, in terms of how much life Moric has left. And so I'm tempted to go all-out offense here. I think I will. That gets us, yeah, probably 2 hits away here. Disrupt Undead. If we were using a better sword, might have been able to take him out there. Now, of course, the Dromas can heal, and they might opt to do that here. They definitely are. It's not a ton, but collectively, across all 3 of them, I think that does add up to more or less 1, maybe even 2 attacks worth of damage that they healed off of him. Emila is down now. Could bring her back with Phoenix down. That is a possibility. In terms of order, she would go next. I think that's probably reason enough to do it here. and that means we can squeeze in a lightning bolt. And I think it probably does make sense to attack everyone here. She was not going to be able to take out Mork, for sure. Oh, man. That was a big hit, too. Mork is very low, though. Oh, and I was going to say, 2 hits might be enough to take him out here. However, Dugan would be 1, and Vern would be the 2nd. Vern is down right now. In order to bring him back before Mork or the Droma's next turn, we would, of course, need to take a turn to revive him. That means sacrificing Dugan's turn to do that. How is Dugan looking in terms of Phoenix Downs? He does have 3. Let's do it. Let's do it. And Vern, make it worth our while here. I don't think he can finish him off, but deal a fair share of damage, and we hope that he doesn't get targeted here. Likely that the Dromas will opt to heal Morik. I think in all, we still dealt more damage than they just healed, but that is not what we wanted to see. That is definitely not what we wanted to see. So, oh, and was Vern the person we were putting those magic shields on as well? Yeah, I think the physical shield probably is better. It seems like Mork typically opts to use his physical attack a little more often than his magic one. We do have 2 people here who can go before Mork's next turn. So I think it is very tempting here to go all-out offense and not opt to revive Vern. Thought here being that Mardek should be able to deal a couple hundred damage. Emla, if she's specifically targeting Mork, should be able to do the same. Then Mork will go. He could use his ability that heals himself, along with dealing a bunch of damage. But if he doesn't, then Dugan can probably take him out. That would mean leaving Vern down for a bit. But I think that is an intriguing option. So let's give that a shot. Oh, that kind of throws out that plan, though. That was not what we were thinking. We could opt to take out some Droma instead in that case. I think that might make more sense because suddenly this has become, more of a long-term plan. Vern does get zombified, which is actually not the end of the world here. On the assumption that we do have a holy water to use, means we are sacrificing Dugan's turn again. However, we're basically getting a free heal on Vern, and he is running out of MP. But Disrupt Undead should deal a lot of damage here. Enough to level up, in fact. Mork opts to resummon the Droma, and he is low here. So this looks like our opportunity. Mardek, Emla, between the 2 of you, Mardek, you got a hit. But we got it done. Now it's just the Droma, and this should be, comparatively speaking, far simpler. We've done plenty of Droma fights in the past, so not terribly concerned. Just making sure, yeah, we have some people who are somewhat low on HP. I suppose we could do a little bit of healing here. Preferably with a better potion. Just in case. Emla, mostly Emla. In case she finds herself in a bit of a pinch. So, no MP remaining on Vern, which means he's just using his default attack, which, as we've established previously, is quite weak at the moment. Still enough to take out a Droma, though. That is good news. And 2 remaining here, so this shouldn't be too difficult. Mardek at this stage might have the strongest attack. So we'll take out the one with the most HP, and then Emla with the last Droma here, and it's done. Difficult, yes, but not impossible. Had to test out a lot of new stuff there, and we did see, we got the Wolf Blade, that sword that Mork just was using. Phoenix Pinion, which is the Super Phoenix Down, in addition to 1 Holy Water. We used several more than that, but there we go. Also, mastered the physical defensive reaction on Vern.
So green. So green. Qualia. Oh, green. Spinning. Sharpness. Exude. Yes. I hate you. Rohaf. Light. Destroyer. Roar. Chaos Bringer. I am so cold. Icy. This bleeds so much. Bad choice. Now, it ends. Yes. Quickly, I must cast a spell that I was preparing when you slept. It will seal Mork's soul so that he can't do another soul transfer. There. You will no longer be a bother. Social Fox. All these years, he was my idol. I almost faltered back there, hesitated to fight him. But this isn't him. He's surely moved on from this realm now. He certainly deserved to move on. Well, what we did to his body. It deserved to rest in peace. With more honor than this. What would he think if he knew this had happened? Anyway, though, we've saved the world, Mardek. People will consider us heroes for this, I'm sure. Huzzah! Heroes at last! Our dreams come true. Heroes for slaying a dead hero, though. I never would have dreamed that this would be the way we'd gain our fame. I don't mean to break up any emotional moments here, but, shouldn't we be trying to get out of here right about now? Ah, yes! Come to think of it, we really should get on a move, because, you see, I'm pretty sure that right as he was dying, Morik willed the ship to shut itself down. You blasted fool, Morik. I could have used this ship. You could have at least given me that. But alas. Shut itself down? Indeed. It's kind of a self-defense measure, of a sort. It stops our technology from falling into enemy control. However, it takes about 10 minutes for the systems to shut down. That was my idea. So then the surviving crew had a chance to escape. Once the ship has shut down, though, I'm pretty sure it would not be a good idea to be in it, seeing as it's high in the sky. It will fall. Pain will ensue, and most likely death, too. We must make our escape. We have about 10 minutes. There are escape pods. We must head to those.
Okay. So, let's take a quick peek, however, at that new sword that we just picked up, wherever we may have put it. Oh, here it is. The Wolf Blade. She is a great sword, meaning that it would be a Dugan weapon, 40 attack, relative to 32 on Dugan's current sword. No skills, and just a bunch of damage. And it is Earth Elemental. So we'll throw that on. And then, after that, I'm not sure we have much to do other than finally opt to put something else on Vern here. So maybe we opt to put the Silver Sword or just something with a little bit better damage. Maybe in the Shadow Blade? Let's go with the Silver Sword. Okay. And we did also manage to master the defensive reaction for Vern on the Spiked Hide armor, Zack's armor. So we could swap that out for something else. Let's take a quick peek here at what that might be. We would opt to use the second Trilobite armor. Perhaps. Or potentially even the Bone Mail for some dark resistance. And curse resistance. That sounds like that's not a bad idea. Let's throw that on instead. And then let's make sure that we opt to put on something like... Oh, we could have put on Locomotion. Not that it was making much of a difference because we had the resistance from just using the belt. We might have had something else previously. Okay, so we beam ourselves back. And there you see in the bottom right corner, we do have a timer here. And also, basically everyone is poisoned at the moment. So maybe let's take a second here to remove Taint. Get rid of the blindness on Mardek as well. We could heal up Dugan too. It's probably not a bad idea at this stage. And Mardek as well. Sure, everyone gets a chance to heal a bit. Mardek is not looking great in terms of NP here. However, let's do it. I suppose we could have saved here and then wouldn't have made much difference. However, it heals, doesn't allow you to save. And there are lots of Droma here. We take a look at the map. Way back through the escape pods is this room right here. We actually saw it on our way in previously, but it was locked. Now, however, let's make a beeline for it. Now, the Dromas, if you could, like, say, just, like, you know, get out of our way for a second here. Allow us to make our way back over there. And so, you'll see there is that 10-minute time limit. However, it's not terribly restrictive. It shouldn't take us too long to make it through here. So as long as you're not dilly-dallying and making a point of grinding at this stage, then you could definitely be sure to not have that be a factor. And actually, the earth elementalness of Dugan's new sword is a bit of a problem in some ways because these guys heal to earth. So that means that we probably do want to make sure we're using power attacks. Does mean we get a bunch of damage. And, well, probably using a normal attack on Vern as well. I don't remember if that timer is technically running during these fights or if it's only when we're walking around. We'll see soon enough, though, I think. Assuming we can take this guy out? Yeah, okay. Nice. And Emla should be able to take you out as well in one hit. Oh, yes, it is definitely going. Top right corner there. So that does make it perhaps a little bit trickier, but you'll see that at this stage, we are almost halfway to our destination already. And, technically speaking, I believe we would find that if we were to, say, just mosey about here for the next 8 minutes and 14 seconds, then we would find that, well, I mean, Rowoff was saying that he expects that the ship will shut down, and probably don't want to be in the ship when it shuts down when we're hovering above the air, and presumably that means the ship would crash and would not end well for us. But, interestingly enough, minor spoiler, I suppose, jumping ahead of ourselves a bit here, but in truth, if you wait out that entire duration, nothing happens. So, go through here and, I suppose, absent-mindedly, did a physical attack on Emla. Oh, hold on. Might actually be relevant. Now, still able to take out the Droma. So, as we see here, with a couple of battles, we still have more than 7 minutes to spare, and we have made it to the escape pod here. This is the room. So if we were to wait around here for 7 minutes, we actually would be fine, which, bear that in mind as we're heading in through here. Because, what? Gracelon? Intruders are still alive. Kill them. This time, I will. Ah! We haven't got time to fight this thing again. We need to get out of here. The escape pods are right there. If we try to escape in them, it'll surely destroy us while we're vulnerable. The escape pod, too. It won't let us just run away. No. No, it won't. But we can't fight. Not enough time. I'll hold it off. The rest of you, go! Run! There isn't much time. You need to get to the escape pods. What? You're staying behind? No! Mardek, if I don't do this, then we'll all either have to fight this thing and die when the timer runs out, or try to flee and die when it chases us down. I can't let either of those things happen. The world needs a hero, and I suppose it was never meant to be me. You've always been more successful and likable than me, Mardek. You're the better man, and it's you who should shine your light on the world and become the next social fox, not me. So go on, mate. Be a hero. Do it for the both of us. Live our dream. You'll make a damn good hero. I'm sure of it. Dugan, no! You can't leave like this. You have to come with us. We need to be heroes together. I'm so sorry, mate. You know I'd love to, but I think this is more important. So go on now. Just leave, damn it. And please, look after Amela. Dugan! Why is it just standing there, not doing anything? We've delayed for ages just talking. Aren't we supposed to be hurrying out of here? Go! Come on. Dugan's made his choice. I can see there's no changing his mind. We need to go now, quickly. Come on, you hideous monstrosity. You dream stealer. This is for Mardek, for Emla, for Social Fox, and for Belfan. And so, mission complete? Or so it seems. No sign of Dugan, though. It didn't look good. Ah, the heroes return once more. Huzzah to you, soldiers. You're most certainly the best recruits we've ever had, having saved the whole of Belfan not once, but twice. And this time, you weren't even on a paid mission. What? Excuse me? But, where is that other blonde soldier, Dugan? Is he not with you? Surely he
fell. Through fire and water.
Oh, oh dear, I'm so sorry. That's a terrible shame for us all. He was a great soldier and a great man. His memory will not be forgotten, and his sacrifice will not go unnoticed. He did not die in vain. As for you two, however, you have most certainly proven yourselves more than worthy of the highest honor I can give guards such as yourself. I am officially knighting you. You'll both become royal knights.
Well, thank you, Your Majesty. I'm honored.
Then I dub thee, without getting out of my throne, of course, Sir Mardek. May you fight for goodness and justice, and help all those in need, in the name of Gosnor.
Well, I shall, my lord.
Good. Now you, Emila, I dub thee...
My apologies, Your Majesty, but I absolutely must refuse the honor. Can I do that?
Oh? You can technically refuse, but that's surprising. Most unexpected. What are your reasons for this? If it's just modesty, then you needn't be like that. You've more than earned this.
No, it's not that. It's personal reasons. Something happened when that black cloud appeared over Canonia and turned people into zombies. I'm afraid I'll have to also leave the guard. I need some time to, travel and do some things.
What?
You have to go away? I'm afraid so. Well, how long will you be gone for? I really don't know if I'll be coming back to the guard at all. Ever. I'm so sorry. But...
This is most unfortunate. Your magical skills would have been so useful to us, and you could have saved many lives with your power and courage. But alas, I understand that personal matters can be more important. Know, though, that if you were to return, you would immediately be considered a royal knight due to your bravery and exploits today.
Thank you, sire. But you're leaving.
You two look like you might have a lot to talk about in private. You are dismissed now, so you have the chance. Sir Mardek, you will be informed when your services are required. Emla, you will be sorely missed, but I wish you the utmost luck on whatever it is that you're off to do, and you have my blessings. Good night to you now.
My contract has expired.
Phew. What a last few days these last few days have been. Never in all my time as a paladin have I done anything so, well, so exciting. We surely saved so many people, though for that, I'm glad that Yalort blessed us so. He even blessed you soldiers, allowing you to overcome and defeat such evils. Surely you must have just been lying when you said you didn't worship him.
Yes, sure, that's right. We secretly pray to Yalort 6 times a day, but don't want to admit it openly for some reason.
I knew it! How else could you possibly have such power and success? This venture has been beneficial, though, and I might even go so far as to say it was rather fun. I'd hoped to be able to do this again with you all sometime. But my duties in these lands are done for now. I must head home and thank Yalort for his blessings and inform the priests who sent me of my deeds. Adios! Adios, Vern.
Well, Mardek, I guess this is where we part ways too. Well, do you really have to go? I really do. Yeah. I mean, it's not just a selfish whim that I'm leaving on either. It's like a duty that I have, a thing I need to do. Well, what is that thing? I can't tell you. Sorry. It's important though. It really is. Well, I'll be all alone. I'll miss you. I know, and I feel so terrible about leaving you because of that. I mean, Dugan, I'm so sorry, Mardek. Well, Mardek. I've lost people close to me too today, so I know how you must feel. Sort of, and I'm so sorry. I just wish there was something we could have done to convince him to come with us, or to destroy that monster thing. I wish I could stay, I really do, but I can't. So long, Mardek. We'll meet again one day. I'll make sure of it.
And with that, we have what is, more or less, the end of Chapter 2. So we did, of course, successfully take down Mork. It was not an easy task, but we have done it. And with that, I'm going to sign off here, so I'll catch you in the next one.